My ex left me for my brother 1 year ago and we haven't spoken since. My mother just called me to demand his forgiveness. I thought about it and I decided to meet up with my mother at a cafe. My uncle told me not to go and that I was making a mistake, however this is my family, I felt like I had to do this. I told my mother strictly not to bring my brother as I am not yet ready to see him, and his recent substance spiral was not something I had any interest in. A few days later I met up at the planned cafe for lunch. We greeted each other and politely caught up. Before I could even address the elephant in the room, in strolled my brother. I saw him, but he pretended not to see me. He walked up to order something, when my ma'am put her best shocked face on and called out to him. "Oh my god, I didn't think I'd see you here. Look who's here with me, sit down, let's talk." Oh f no, I was not letting this happen. I stood up to walk out when I felt my mother's arm drag me back. "Where are you going, sweetie?" She had the nerve to call me sweetie. "I told you not to invite him, yet you went around my back and presumed I was an idiot." This was a mistake. Some of the customers were now staring at me as I had gotten quite loud towards the end of that sentence. I went to walk out when I felt another pull. It was my brother this time. "I'm sorry. I was an a-hole. Can we please talk?" I should have said no in hindsight, but he was my brother. Hearing this from him meant a lot to me. I told him I was willing to talk, but only if our mother was not present to try dictate the conversation. Our mother looked bewildered at this, but my brother told her to leave. She has always listened to him and has done what he told her, and this time was no different. She stood up and walked out. My brother and I sat back down. I told him I was ready. He started from the start. He told me that back all the time when he slept with my ex, sure he was the one who initiated at that time, but she was actually the one to initiate the first time they had intimacy. He confessed to it being multiple intimate encounters with her. Apparently, the first one happened when he was drunk, and she was not. He claims that she roped him, but he did not recognize it at the time as he was under the impression that this cannot happen to men. It wasn't until they started dating that she realized this kind of behavior was normal to her. She would initiate and not take no for answer. She was just as crazy with me as she was with him. Turns out, she tracked the mileage on his car too. Almost a year into the relationship he said he couldn't take the craziness anymore, and that's why he cheated. The following mushroom trip was something he did because he realized he threw away his brother for a beach who tracks mileage on cars and RPS him. He was tearing up by the end, and it was hard not to cry for me too. We hugged it out as we stood up and I took his number, as I had changed my phone since least speaking with him. He asked me about how I was able to stand back on my feet. I told him I had started a rigorous workout regimen aided by my uncle, and started prioritizing mental and physical health. My brother asked me if I could show him my workouts sometime as he'd be happy to start. He also asked for my supplement stack. Apparently he had gone to the doctor recently and the doctor told him his testosterone levels were very low. He thinks it's got to do with the fact our parents have coddled him forever in his unhealthy lifestyle. I told him about Kingmaker, my test booster, and even purchased him a tub off Amazon. He also asked to move in with me and my uncle. I told him I'm not sure, but the day after meeting up at the cafe, we met up at the park and did a 3K run together. It ain't much, but it's a start.